Good morning, everybody. What is today? January 5th, 2023. It still boggles my mind that it's 2023. Got the Ask Me Anything ready to kick off here. 5:45 a.m. Pacific time here in the Sherwood household. And I don't know how everybody else's day or night was. Hope it was great. Where I live, man, we are in the middle of a crazy windstorm that hit yesterday afternoon, pardon me, and is still going on. I mean, down trees, down power. Right now, our house has been out of power since maybe last night about 8 p.m. We've got a generator hooked up that's running right now, and so that's what, making it happen, making the AMA happen no matter what. And the winds were so bad and howling and trees were snapping so bad that my kids were not happy. They were terrified. So my night was spent sleeping in one of our kids' rooms all night long. And because I was there, they slept soundly. But I'm here to tell you that was not what I experienced. I feel like the Walking Dead right now. I did not sleep. So got my coffee. We're up. Let's go ahead and make this happen. And there's a lot of great questions. I tried to harvest more than I normally do. I might have been a bit too ambitious, but I'm going to try to get through a bunch, as maybe in 30 minutes, as many as I can. So with no further ado, here we go. And appreciate, I should say apologies for the sipping of the coffee, but I need it. Okay. First most upvoted question is from Patrick S., not me, a different Patrick S., and it says, if you were not a programmer and had no knack for it, would you either belong to a box, would you still train out of your garage? And if you did train out of your garage, what programming would you follow? Great question. So for me personally, I would still train out of my garage. It's just what I love. It's where I thrive. I love the freedom. I love the flexibility. I love that I can do whatever I want there. I can take however long I want with a warm up. I absolutely just adore the flexibility of it for sure. I see. War Dog Cross. Where can you get this shirt? This is a Linchpin shirt that we made, and you can get it on CrossFit Linchpin on the store, and Rogue also sells it, so you can get it on either one. So I would still train in my garage. Let's love it. That's where my heart is. As far as what I would follow for programming, it's a great call. I would probably reach out to friends and ask them who they like, what they've had good luck with, etc., etc. I'd probably call up Adrian Bosman. He's a very talented programmer. He likes to create workouts as well. I'd probably hit him up, and we could do something like that. And Spiel's a good buddy. Spiel's got a great head on his shoulders, and he knows what he's doing with programming as well. And I'd probably reach out to him also. So that's probably where I'd go with that. Melanie H. Let's see. I'm scrolling. There's a lot of comments today, so I got to do some scrolling. Okay. Can we expect to have Emily on again in the near future? Asking for a friend. So, okay, let's see. Yeah, for sure, of course. I can just let Emily know that people would like to have her on, and then I'll let you know in the future, a couple days beforehand, hey, Emily's going to be on this episode, so if possible, direct your questions towards her background, or whatever it happens to be. But I'll give her a couple days notice, because she does not enjoy being on camera, and so I'll get her mentally prepped for that. She always does. She's a good sport, but it's certainly nothing that she craves. Sorry, that no sleep did not treat me well. Now let's see. Okay, CW CrossFit. Here we go here. CrossFit is about health and fitness. A big part of this is nutrition. Given there are often questions within this community about nutrition, including recent drives for some members looking to reduce sugar intake, alcohol consumption, recipe ideas on Tuesdays, etc., Have you considered setting up a structured resource around nutrition? For example, breakfast, lunch, snack ideas for members, links to resources, information from E.C. Sinkowski from Optimize My Nutrition, podcasts from recent Linchpin Conversations or VNR, so there is a space for new and existing members as nutrition feels like a constant challenge. Excellent point, and of course, I mean, you're spot on. Nutrition is absolutely mission critical to all of your goals, quite frankly. And if you're not achieving your goals, it's probably the first place that you should look. So here's the funny thing. Take it for whatever it's worth. Years ago, there actually was not just the Linchpin private track, and members who have been around a while will remember this. There was another option that you could subscribe to, and it was the Linchpin private track plus nutrition. And what that offered you was each month kind of a lot of the resources that you're talking about there. But truth be told, it just never got a lot of traction. For whatever reason, as great of an idea as it sounded, it just kind of never took off. And so it eventually fizzled out and went away, which I thought was a shame, because for exactly the reasons that you're saying. But sometimes you just never know what people are going to latch onto. But getting back to your idea, I think it's great. I think all the things that you said are great. And if a Linchpin member wants to go ahead and champion that cause, take the lead, take the reins on it, great, fantastic. Hit me up. Just email me at info@crossfitlinchpin.com. We can communicate, organize things, and whoever feels fired up can, champion that cause. It'll be cool. And then we'll figure out, where to post those things and all that kind of good stuff. And then who knows where it could go. Maybe we could create an ebook of recipes from, literally from people all around the world, different countries, states, ethnic backgrounds. It could be a really cool cookbook, all things considered, geared towards health and fitness. So, yeah, there's potential there. Somebody just needs to be fired up and drive that thing forward. But I agree, it's absolutely mission critical. Okay, next one is from Tracy R. Let's see. Tracy, where are you? Tracy R. How similar is the Linchpin private track to gym programming? Is there a way to find a gym that uses Linchpin programming? So with regards to how to find a gym, there's no one singular search feature that you can go and just search. That doesn't exist at this point in time. Every now and then when the request comes out, I'll take basically a screenshot of the gyms that follow Linchpin and I'll post it in the private track or something so people can kind of see if there's one in their area. But getting to the other part of the question, what's the difference? So one of the big differences is, the Linchpin private track for individuals, an individual subscription is just that. It's for your individual use. The gym owners one allows you to take all of the knowledge, information, and work that goes into everything that I provide through that and use it for your members, for a greater number of people. That's probably one of the primary things. Another big difference is that the Linchpin private track for gym owners or affiliates includes everything 7 days a week. So no rest days, basically. Programming 7 days a week, warm-ups, all the options, dumbbell, limited, no equipment option, wildcard, scaled, accessory work, the whole 9 yards, 7 days a week, because a lot of gyms are open 7 days a week because you never quite know when the members are going to come in. And so we provide programming 7 days a week to meet those needs. On top of that, for gyms, there's also a detailed lesson plan or coach's notes that are associated with every single solitary workout so that trainer running that class can have as much wonderful information as possible to do everything as effectively and efficiently as possible. And every now and then, for the gym owner's subscription, a warm-up might be modified because there could be, if a warm-up is written for an individual working out by themselves in their garage, you don't really have too many concerns about clogging up any particular piece of equipment or things like that. Whereas if you've got 15 or 20 people. You just need to think about the logistics of running that class. So all that's kind of looped in there. Okay. Next most upvoted one. This is from John F. This was in the BTWB Squads feature. Let's see. John, where are you? Oh, yep, I remember this now. This is a tough one. Hey, Coach, I'm a full-time law enforcement officer in Northwest Indiana. The department that I am currently with, outside of the academy, has no physical fitness standards or incentives to stay in any form of physical fitness besides a weight room filled with Globo Gym style equipment. Having been hit by the CrossFit bug. How can I best help the other officers on my department realize that the difference between life and death could potentially be one's capacity and stress adaptation? Thanks. Man, when I saw this question posted, I wrestled with it, to be quite honest with you. It's so important. I don't have a good answer for you because, well, I guess for a couple reasons. First of all, whether it's a first responder, police officer, military member, or just a regular citizen, a lot of times it's tough to quote-unquote make somebody or get somebody or convince somebody to work out. Whoever it is, your brother, your sister, your mother, your friend, it's so darn hard, and no technique works the same on any two people because you have to kind of know the person that you're trying to have this breakthrough with. What are they receptive to? Are they receptive to just factual information with an oral conversation that lets you know exactly why it's so important? Then at the end they go, oh, well, that makes perfect sense. I can't believe I wasn't working out that manner. Let's go do it. Or they have to see that you used to be in maybe shape that wasn't so great and now you are in great shape, and they see it with their own eyes and they go, what are you doing? Something's obviously working, and that sparks the conversation. Or whatever it happens to be, each person is receptive in a little bit of a different manner, so you have to figure that out. On a broader picture, I'm certainly not getting on the soapbox here, okay, I'm sorry, but the fact that there are no physical fitness standards in your department, and this is not just your department, I've got plenty of friends in law enforcement that echo the same thing, that I didn't realize. I don't know if it's all, I don't want to say that, but how many police departments, like you said, have no physical fitness standards? How is that even possible? That makes absolutely no sense at all for such a mission critical job. I can't even wrap my head around it. So and if somebody in a profession like that doesn't just see how blatantly obvious your physical capacity is to not only your well-being in that profession, but your partner and your teammates' well-being, and that if you're out of shape, you are, in my opinion, being negligent and a liability to everyone else around it. I don't even know how that could be so plainly obvious to not need explanation. So all I can say is keep doing what you're doing, lead by example, make different choices with food, make different choices with how you move your body, and then ideally, without you pressuring it onto people, because a lot of people don't respond well to pressure. If they just see you looking, feeling, and performing better than most other people, handling stress better, etc., being more physically capable, hopefully that just sparks the question from their end as to, hey, what do you do? I see everybody else in the gym when I happen to wander in there, and you do different things. And then I see you out in the field or chasing somebody down or whatnot, and you seem to be fitter, faster, and stronger, so your other things must be working well. If you can get the other side to talk first, I think that you've won. Whereas if you try to talk first and now you're trying to convince somebody else, that's gonna potentially be taken on their side as, well, what I'm doing isn't good. This guy doesn't think that it's good. He thinks my stuff sucks. That's an uphill battle right there. I wish I had should I dive into a quick story? Okay, fine. I'll make this really quick. So there was a point in time in my life where I was a bit adrift, shall we say, and I had a limited skill set. I had got out of the military and I didn't know anything else. Went in the military right after college. That was my skill set. My degree from college was relatively useless. I wasn't going to do anything with that. So now I'm out of the military. All I really knew how to do is tactical things and carry a gun for a living. So there's a limited market for that. I then wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I spent a few years post-military doing contract work for various government agencies overseas. That was an interesting experience. Got back from that. Now I was probably in my early 30s and didn't know what I want to do, but now had only, from having done that with the other government agencies, only solidified that skill set. And I was like, what am I going to do? So I applied to start the process with the FBI. So I was living in Virginia at the time. Started the process to apply with the FBI, and then I can't totally remember the process, but there's, you submit a package, then there's like an interview portion at some point in time. There was a physical fitness test, and I got to the point where I was about to go in for the physical fitness test. And it was, if memory serves, there was a run, there was pull-ups, there were several other elements to it. An opportunity popped up at that point in time in my life, and I didn't proceed with the selection process. Went and did something else, I think for about a year or so. A year or two, came back, and then I was like, you know what? Now I'm going to restart the process again. So I restarted the process with the FBI, submitted all the applications, and then got again to the point where I had to come in, talk to some folks at the local Norfolk office, and then I was going to get ready to do the physical fitness test. So I'm at the Norfolk office talking to the agents there. And this is not a slam on anyone in the FBI. I've got plenty of FBI buddies that are great people. They didn't control this. And the individual there I had to watch some video, and the individual there is telling me about the physical fitness test, and I'm listening, attentively. And at the end of it, they say to me, any questions? We'll get you scheduled for the physical fitness test. And I was like, I do have a question, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was in here a couple years ago going through the process and wound up pausing it. I could have sworn that there were pull-ups in the physical fitness test. And the physical fitness test that you just briefed me on doesn't have pull-ups. Am I crazy? Is my memory not serving me well? And they said, oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, you're correct. There used to be pull-ups in the physical fitness test, but they were removed. I don't know, it was in my head. I was like, well, that's such a great movement. Why would you ever remove that? And I asked that. I said, why is that the case? And they responded that too many people were having difficulty with the pull-ups, and so they removed the pull-ups from the physical fitness test. And that just knocked me on my butt, quite frankly. And I just asked them a direct question. I said, so just to be perfectly clear, you've got these applicants showing up for a job that has the potential to be physically demanding, potential to be life and death, all that kind of stuff. The screening application had a part that was challenging. So instead of demanding more from your applicants, you made the test easier. Am I fully understanding that? And they were like, yeah, basically. And at that point in time, I shook their hand. I said, thank you very much for your time. I am no longer interested in proceeding forward with your organization. Walked out, never went back. And so I don't know what's going on in some first responder sort of organizations that are making decisions like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's not how I would choose to do business. So, John, I wish you absolutely the best of luck. Okay, Jake, next most upvoted question. Actually doing decent, making our way through here. Oh, okay, Jake. Just curious to get your take on completing a marathon or similar distance by only doing Linchpin. No real running training except 1 or 2 long runs a few weeks before the event. Do you think this is possible, or how horrendous of an idea is this? Well, it's been done. I'll go ahead and tell you that. So Jake, what you should do, we had a member by the name of Ryan S., and he created a BTWB Squads feature. specifically for people that love endurance, and that you should immerse yourself in that squad. It's a wealth of knowledge specifically in the topic that you're talking about, and people who have done exactly what you're asking about, comment there and share ideas there. And the name of that is, it's called the Unofficial CrossFit Linchpin Endurance Squad. Unofficial CrossFit Linchpin Endurance Squad. So search that out, get yourself in there, or post about it in the BTWB Squads feature, and I'll try to connect with the person, make it happen, and that will be the greatest resource for you. But yeah, people have done it. But yeah, I would think you'd want to build up some sort of base beforehand, because even if you could do it, just the sheer amount of impact that would occur on your lower body that you hadn't been prepared for, I would think would be absolutely horrific. So even if your physical fitness allowed you to do that task, you might really pay for it afterwards. So there's probably a great little hybrid there that would be wonderful for you. Okay. Chris A. Ooh, Chris, this was a tough question too. Chris A. I know the Linchpin philosophy is an hour a day is all you need to be incredibly fit and live a solid life. If you had 2 hours a day, what would you spend the second hour on that's fitness related? That's a good question. I really had to think about this. So you're correct. I mean, Linchpin and classic CrossFit, by the way, before it got misconstrued, I should say, by so many folks. But Linchpin for sure, and classic CrossFit is, it's a minimalist program. Minimalist program to provide maximal results. That's it. So don't hear minimalist program, minimalist results here. Minimalist program, maximal results. And I always preface this stuff with, you've got an extra hour. It's want versus need. Do you need to do anything else? Especially if you're doing the optional accessory work too. If you're giving your full attention to the warm-up, the workout, and you do the optional accessory work, that's a fair amount of volume that you're exposing yourself to. But to answer your question fairly, so I don't think you would need to do anything else, but as a free, autonomous citizen, and I'm a big fan of freedom, free to do whatever you want. So if you want to do some extra stuff, here's what I would say. First of all, you're a smart man in the wording of your question. Because in your question you said, I have this extra hour, what would I do? What would you recommend that's fitness related? You specifically said that, because anyone who knows me well enough knows that I would recommend other pursuits to people that are not fitness related, because most human beings, myself included, that I meet on planet Earth, if I do an honest assessment of myself, or other people do honest assessments of themselves, probably what they need to be a more wonderful person on human Earth, a wonderful person on Earth, is not another set of deadlifts, but some sort of time spent on learning, education, emotional intelligence, communication skills, that stuff. So, but I digress. All right, so physical fitness pursuits. You got to ask yourself, what can your body tolerate? And not just tolerate, but you want to be able to have it tolerate it and still thrive. If you're not thriving, no good at all. Pump the brakes, stop for sure. Rest, right? That's that slippery slope of volume does to people, is the intensity just little by little starts to degrade, and then you're no longer advancing. And then what do you think you need to do? A little bit more, and then you get into this spiral. So, but if I did have that extra hour, skill work, stretching, and flexibility is what pops into my mind, because it would be profoundly beneficial. And skill work, aka practice, takes time, and you would have that time to practice. Practice doesn't have to be with a lot of loading either. Practice can be just with an empty barbell, so you don't feel beat up the next day. Whether it's the Olympic lifts, power lifts, a lot of I would say a lot of gymnastics work as well, quite frankly. And you could have a beautiful 20 or 30 minute session on stretching and flexibility, which more of us would probably benefit if we had that amount of time to dedicate to that. So if you had that extra hour, skill work plus stretching and flexibility, I think would serve you really, really well. and the world of gymnastics or body weight movements with regards to skill work, you will spend the rest of your life trying to become just a basic level gymnast, to be honest with you. If you did some research on basic novice level gymnastics moves of midline control, stabilization, press to handstand, things like that, you will never be bored. You will never be bored. So that's what I would do. Okay, final most upvoted question is from Dylan H. Okay, Dylan says, can you clarify something you mentioned a few days ago in regards to run distances? In a previous post about the assault runner treadmills or air runners, you said, whenever running is prescribed in a workout, we typically reduce the distance by 20 to 25%. What does that mean for those of us with powered treadmills? Do I need to increase the distance or use what is prescribed? Okay, so anytime that we post a workout that has some sort of conditioning component to it, metabolic conditioning component to it, run, a bike, or a row, there's going to be a little blurb, and if you're in the BTWB app looking at the workout, you can just expand it. It might be under like notes or more info or something like that, but expand it, and it will give you the distance conversions. So if a run is prescribed in the workout of the day, it will tell you what distance would be appropriate on a rower or an air bike. If an air bike is in the workout of the day, well, that distance conversion will tell you the appropriate distance to row or run, etc., etc. So I always have you covered there. Now, if you're running out on concrete or pavement or grass or trail, whatever it is, you just do whatever the run distance is, okay? Let's say that it's Helen. 3 rounds per time, there's a 400-meter run each time. You're just going to go out and run 400 meters. If you have a powered treadmill, classic electric treadmill that most of us would think of, you just do whatever that normal distance is. So if it's Helen, you would do 400 meters. If you have a self-powered treadmill, an air runner, then whatever the distance is, you're going to reduce that distance, typically by about 25%. Okay, that's a rough guideline, typically by about 25%. And that's going to serve you well for a lot of the air runners. So if you have a powered one, you're not modifying the distance. If you have a self-powered one, an air runner, you are modifying the distance. And then the only thing I would say about that is, and I posted this a while ago, and if you have an assault air runner, you might want to look into this, but I'll read this just so you know, because I only learned of this recently. Let's see. As you know, when running is prescribed in a workout, we often reduce the distance on average by 20 to 25% for an air runner, okay, not a powered treadmill, for an air runner. Historically, this brings the time spent on an air runner closer in line to what would be experienced during running on the open road. But I just learned some new information. Here it is. The Assault Air Runner has published updated firmware. This firmware update was made available to match up old monitors with their new Elite monitors. This firmware artificially speeds up the air runner to come close to matching open road running. If you have the updated firmware or the Elite monitor, then it is recommended you do not modify the running distance in the workout of the day. So hopefully that information is helpful to people. Okay, let's see here. All right, that takes care of that. We'll do a couple Linchpin shout-outs and chat about the challenge this month, which is Test 5, running and a heavy barbell, and then we'll get out of here. So first of all, Linchpin shout-outs. This one is an interesting one. This is from Morton P. Morton P. has been with Linchpin for 4 years and has done the limited equipment option, aka the dumbbells only, for 4 years. He finally just got his hands back on a barbell for the workout of the day, which is was Christine. Christine is 3 rounds for time, 500-meter row, 12 deadlifts at body weight, and then 21 box jumps. And looking at the photo that he attached, it looks like he probably weighs about 185 pounds would be my guess. And from not having touched a barbell in 4 years to now having it in this workout, which is a nasty workout, by the way, with a ton of interference, he scored 10 minutes and 55 seconds on that workout, which is blazing fast. That put him in the 84th percentile. So congratulations. And by the way, dumbbells work, as we've been saying for a while. this one is just an absolute testament to mental toughness. This is from Valerie L. So we've got Linchpin test number 13, which is a beast. It's for time. You run 400 meters, you do 20 burpees. Run 400 meters, do 19 burpees. Run 400 meters, do 18 burpees. You see where this is going. By the end of it, I believe it comes out to 5 miles of running and 210 burpees. We also say that shooter's choice, if you have a weight vest, go ahead and wear it. And so it's a beast. And a lot of wonderful lunatics from Linchpin seem to do this near the end of every year, and people have been knocking it out. So Valerie said, when I heard about test 13, my first thought was that I would have rocked that a few years ago when I was an avid runner. But those days have gone by, etc., etc. Figured I'd do a scaled version this year, maybe the full thing next year. Then I started thinking about how cool it would be to do the full test now and compare it a year from now. So that's what I did. And by the way, most people, it depends, but I would say 60 to 90 minutes is common on this. 60 minutes is really, really, really fast, by the way, especially if you have a weight vest on. But 60 to 90 minutes is a common window. Valerie went ahead and knocked this out, running when she could run, walking when she had to walk, the whole 9 yards, did it down in her basement. Took her 2 hours and 15 minutes. 2 hours and 15 minutes. Valerie is awesome. That sort of mental toughness and discipline. Wow. Yeah, so Valerie, I have an idea that when this, if you decide to do this a year from now, you're going to be posting about one heck of a PR. So congratulations. Last Linchpin shout out is from Mateo P. And this is just, we've got people from all around the world in Linchpin, and what's really cool is that allows you to have this one spot to go to for shared global resources from people that you trust, which is awesome. So if somebody was traveling overseas, heading to a vacation to a country over there in Europe, asked for resources, fun things to do, where should I go out for dinner and drinks, the whole 9 yards, and you had, Mateo included, people responding to this and providing them real world information from on the ground, from locals, giving you just amazing stuff you would never get from a tour guide. So I always love to see when that kind of stuff happens. Okay, so quick chat about test 5 and then we'll get out of here. So every month we're doing a Linchpin challenge and we have made our way. January is going to be Linchpin test number 5. This one, it's funny because this one's nasty, but people are crazy. They love it. Gentlemen, load up the barbell to 225 pounds. Women to 155 pounds. This would be for the prescribed version. 3, 2, 1, go. Linchpin test 5 is for time. 20 back squats at that weight. Then run 2 miles. Back to the barbell for another 20 back squats at that weight. Yeah, that's a bruiser. Looking at logged times from beyond the whiteboard, if you're curious as to what percentile certain times would be in, there are 4,500 logged results for Linchpin test 5 on BTWB. The 40th percentile is about 25 minutes and 30 seconds, if you're looking to kind of get a guess as to how long this takes. 60th percentile is around 23 minutes. 80th percentile is around 21 minutes. And 90th percentile is around 19 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's a beast. These challenges every month, they're just supposed to be fun global community events. So you don't have to submit a video to do this challenge, okay? You just have fun, sign up, do it. I'll make a video separate all about the challenge. I'll post it on social media threads. But this is going to be, as far as submitting scores, the live window to submit scores will be from Friday, January 20th to Monday, January 23rd. So we're a couple weeks out from that, from the challenge actually happening. Registration will begin a few days before that. And yeah, you can just do it for free. Keep your Visa card in your wallet, do it for free, sign up, get on the leaderboard, see where you shake out. Awesome. If you want to get some of the cool swag, then you got to go ahead and sign up for the swag. That month, or this month, is going to be a nice, cool color green t-shirt. Of course, everyone's name will be on the back. with the Linchpin. It'll say January 2023. It'll be awesome. And then on the front, because it's test 5 with running in the barbell, it usually says effective not popular, but now it's going to say Linchpin test 5, lift heavy, run fast. And so it's going to be pretty darn cool. So you can get that shirt, green unisex shirt, or you can go with a black option. Unfortunately, the green doesn't come in a tank top, so the green's just a unisex shirt, but you can get that same deal in either a black shirt or a black tank top, so that's that. And then there's going to be a sticker pack as well. You'll get a couple classic Linchpin stickers, the orange and the camo, just to, stick all over the place. And then you will get 2 each of these. A sticker that says, it's a mirror image in my phone, lift heavy, run fast. So you'll get 2 stickers that say lift heavy, run fast. And then you'll get 2 that say running is stupid, but it works. So hopefully that's fun for everybody. People seem to love stickers. And I think that's that. Thanks again for all the great questions for the Ask Me Anything. And thanks for being such a fantastic global community. I swear, I think everybody thinks that I'm crazy. The community at Linchpin is insane. If you think that I'm lying, test me. Go ahead and check it out for yourself. Sign up, check it out. And if I'm lying, let me know. I don't think you'll find that I'm lying. So have a great Thursday. Enjoy your rest day. And we'll talk again later.